Hello, Anik sir.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon. We'll wait for 5 minutes and we'll start this session.
Sure,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Hello, sir. Can we start? Hello.
Absolutely, Uday.
Okay, I'll just start with the introduction. Welcome all to the workshop where how to bootstrap the how to run the bootstrap startups. I'm Uday, working as a manager at AIC Pinnacle Entrepreneurship Forum. Today we have with us is Mr. Anik Jain, who is the co-founder and chief growth officer of FunGrow. He's an innovative leader with a passion for simplifying business. Anik Jain is a co-founder and CEO as of FunGrow. And alumni of IIM Kolkata and having 21 years of experience across the organizations such as Simbo, Marsh, Mahindra Insurance Brokers, Reliance Life, and ICICI Lombard. So Anik has a reservoir of experience in leading business units at different levels, startups to change management in the matured organization. Over the years, he has worked with several teams and motivated them to utilize their capabilities to the hilt his specialties. Areas of studies are like change management, P&L responsibility, insurance, team management, channel management, business development, B2B sales, and marketing, etc. So, Anik Jain, over to you. Let's have interaction towards the startup journey, how to run the startup towards the bootstrap startups.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Uday. Thank you everybody for joining. I hope you guys can hear me properly.
Yes.
I'm just again. Uday was nice enough to give a decent, long, sometime undeserved introduction. I'll do a far quicker one, but I'll do a more specific one to why we should discuss this topic that we have picked up right now. This is my second startup, which is FunGrow, and this is the first time that I am doing a bootstrapped startup. Before that, I have run a startup for 5 years, and that startup we actually raised our first check on a pitch deck. So it was never a bootstrap startup. We raised a $3 million check on a pitch deck itself. Okay, so I have thankfully had exposure of running companies at different stages, companies which are clearly bootstrapped and fairly resource constrained companies versus companies which have a large amount of resources available for them. I'm assuming that quite a few of you are here because you are potentially running a bootstrapped company. Bootstrapped company in itself is a great amount of learning for all of us with the challenges that anyway brings in. Okay, so I'll not spend too much time on the background per se, but I'll go more detailed into what I believe are specific areas where potentially you guys can think of to be able to drive your company far better. Okay, the intent is not that I know the answers, because I have potentially 5 years of startup experience. Before that, I had large entity experience, so which is relevant to some level, but not relevant in running a company which is constrained on resources. I have always worked in companies which always had significant amount of resources available, although they were started small, but they had financial bandwidth available behind this. The bootstrap company is a completely different ball game. Bootstrap company actually teaches you a lot and takes a lot away from you. I'll quickly start sharing a presentation. In case you guys can start seeing it, do let me know. Okay. Now this is what we are headed towards. Again, I actually for the longest time didn't know what bootstrap actually means. Okay, bootstrap is actually helping yourself putting your shoes on. Okay, the buckle that you see at the end, the small loop that you see, that is the bootstrap. Okay, that is actually how our life as entrepreneurs look like every day. We are trying to pull our shoes up and start running every day in a different format, different challenges, different problems that we end up focusing on. Now, quick background, which I've already done, so I'll not spend too much time on this. I'll give a 1 minute on what FunGrow does. FunGrow actually connect companies like you to teenagers who can work with you on freelance basis. I'll not spend too much time on this. I'll explain this in case somebody is interested towards the end of it. But in principle, we are trying to solve, because we ran a company and we figured that there's a problem statement that exists for all of us, saying that talent is not available. If talent is not available, we were trying to solve for that talent problem. And as is rightly said, always solve for a problem where you are your first customer. We were our first customer because we had a challenge. We had very limited resources to put in, and hence we wanted the right kind of people to be available to us, but we did not have the bandwidth, strength, and capability to be able to pay them on full-time basis. Neither did we knew completely as to what this company would look like, and hence we did not want a full-time resource. We would want to evaluate different resources and see as those roles mature in our organization, then potentially bring them in-house as we move forward. Okay. Now, there are two theories to this, okay? One is saying that, should I actually run a bootstrap company, or should I first look for funding, have enough money in pocket before I run an entity? And there are good, bad, and ugly of all these, okay? So there are no right answers. There generally are gray answers always. There's no black and white generally available. But what I have learned, and this is, I'm safely assuming quite a few would have learned a similar thing while running a bootstrap company. The good part about a bootstrap company is it teaches you frugal thinking. It teaches you how to make do with limited resources. And that's beautiful, because then you don't end up spending unnecessary and building a very large expenditure base without getting enough revenue inside the company. And as you would have seen the way the markets are operating right now, companies are not getting incentivized to burn unnecessarily anymore. This has become very nice. If you have done a bootstrap company, you're in a good place to understand that you are going to be careful with every money, every rupee that you spend, because this is not per se the investor money that you can play with. Okay, this is your own hard-earned money at some stage that you have got initial funding from some friends and family, etc. Is how you're building your company. Second, in my opinion, which is very, very important, is a bootstrapped company teaches you how to prioritize. And this is a mistake that I've made in my life earlier. Because we had enough and more resources available, we started doing 5 different things at the same time. You are already solving a problem. And again, as most founders, we are all solving a problem which we believe is a significant impact problem, something that is not being solved by anybody else at all. Now, imagine solving 5 of those problems at one point in time versus solving only one of those. So bootstrap company actually teaches you that I do not have the bandwidth, resources, and capability to be able to solve 5 problems. I'll solve the other 4 later. I would always prioritize and find out which one do I work on first. So this is where I think a bootstrap company really helps, because you don't end up splurging money on unnecessary things. The third is it gets you a sense of urgency. You have your money in the bank. You always believe, it's not a great deal. It can potentially work. I'll spend some 6 months on building this. I'll spend a year to be able to get my first customer, etc. Now, urgency is very, very important for all of us. Unless you have enough amount of urgency and the pressure on you to be able to deliver, the outcomes are not the highest quality. It's not getting the maximum out of what you can potentially do. Now, from my experience, and I've learned this the difficult way, a bootstrap company actually helps you retain control. And that is something that most of us don't understand the value of. Today, you believe that letting go of your 20% of your company is not a big deal. But as you start diluting more and more in your future rounds, that control would go away. You would not be the decision maker on the company that you are building. Now, that's not a place that you would ideally want to be. Hence, retaining control is very, very important why you should bootstrap a company. And most importantly, in my opinion, the lowest cost investment available to you is getting your customer money. If you're a bootstrapped company, you would actually get this in your mind saying that I need to get my customers' money rather than get investors' money. As you're getting your customers' money, the customer is funding your business. I'll spend some more time on this because this is, to me, a very important area to focus on. But customer money is something that we should all focus on when we are trying to run a bootstrap company, because that comes without us giving equity away. But there is an alternate view to this, okay? There's an alternate view to this saying that why bootstrap is potentially a bad idea. All of us are in different stages of our life. Somebody is just starting off their family. Somebody has been running their family for 15 years. I am running I'm married for 18, 20 years. I've been running a family and I have a responsibility at this point in time. There are different stages and your families and responsibilities to handle. And hence you get under pressure when you're running a bootstrap company. The other problem of a bootstrap company is that you are too much into an urgency, which is a good thing and a bad thing both, okay? You're too much into an urgency to deliver something, and that may not be your smartest product. So it may be worthwhile to potentially evaluate, do you need some level of money instead of getting a great amount of money into your company? You need some level of money to be able to give it some breathing space. The other one is, and again, this is something which is interestingly said by my co-founder, 100% of nothing is nothing. So while you may retain control, if you don't end up building a company that you want to be building, it's anyway worth nothing, right? So it is good to evaluate. You should take money from the external world where you believe that your capability to run that bootstrapped company is limited. And it may be a good idea to bring in that money. Don't take money because it is available. It's just take money when you need the money, not when the money is just simply available. The other one is all of us as founders have those situations where we have question marks. Am I doing the right thing? Am I solving the right problem? Am I really going to build a business which is of scale, etc.? Some external money gives you validation, which is validation coming from external party, but it's a validation in your head as well. In our head, we start up believing, saying that if somebody is putting in money, then they actually believe that this is, I'm not the only one who believes this is going to change the world. Is some other people also who believe the going to change. While I have said this, saying that why you should do a bootstrap and why you should not do a bootstrap, in most of our situations, we rarely have an alternate to running a company. Okay. Either you're always in a situation saying that you do not have an alternate and you have to run a bootstrap company. And if that is the case, then only look at the positives and forget about the negatives of it. Okay. If you are required to run a bootstrap company, simply run a bootstrap company. Don't think as to why that is a bad idea. Okay. I don't know how many of you are individual single founders. And there are pros to being a single founder. I have generally taken a stand and understanding from my little experience, saying that you really need somebody around you. You need somebody who is going to help you out. If nothing else, to vent out, okay? To give a second opinion. Be very, very careful as to how you identify your co-founder. That's potentially your biggest decision that you're going to take in your company. There is no decision bigger than finding a partner for yourself. He or she would be involved in your business completely, should have the same level of passion that you have about that business. But more importantly, and in my opinion, the most importantly, you should be able to live together. You should be able to like each other. You should be able to fight with each other. You should be able to politely disagree with each other. All of that is required. But in my opinion, and a very, very strong view on this, you really, really, really need a co-founder. If you do not have a co-founder, I would strongly urge you to identify a co-founder, and don't be frugal in giving away your equity to a co-founder. Giving away equity to investor is a different discussion, but giving away equity to a co-founder is not necessarily the worst of the things. Okay, because then you are actually two intelligent people trying to solve a problem instead of one intelligent person trying to solve the problem. It's always that much better. And this is, do not take that decision lightly. Okay, this is where most companies go wrong. If you find the wrong co-founder is where companies go wrong. So spend your time, energy, as much time that you spend in building your business, finding your problem, understanding your customer, etc. Spend equal amount of time in finding a co-founder if you do not have one. Okay, and treat it like you're getting married. Okay, because that is the person that you're going to spend all your time, energy, effort with. Okay, I'm lucky actually. I'm running this company with a person that I'm married to. Okay, so that's a different situation. But in my previous company, my co-founders ended up becoming my brothers, sisters, etc., and they end up becoming my family. That is the depth that is required to be able to say that I'm going to be. We can politely disagree, we can fight, we can still come back the next day morning and start solving the problem all over again. Okay, and very, very importantly, look for people who are not like you. Do not look for your clone as a co-founder. That's a mistake that a lot of people end up doing. Look at a co-founder which is as different as possible from you. Okay, if you are good at sales, that person does not have to be good at sales. If you're good at technology, that person does not have to be good at technology. And don't worry about the hard skills alone. Okay, also look at the soft skill. If you are good at risk taking, then you need a risk avoider somewhere. Okay, and I know startups don't believe that you ever require a risk avoider. There's a balance required in any company that you are running. So you will require a person who would have a counter view to what you are doing, and then you should be able to honestly agree as to what is the path for the company. Now, this is by far, in my opinion, the biggest decision that you're going to take in running a bootstrap company. In a company which raises early money, your investors, your mentors, etc., end up playing a partial role of a co-founder, never ends up doing the full role of it, but they end up doing a partial role of co-founder. If you're running a bootstrap company, identify a partner for sure. Okay. Now, this is something that people do not necessarily agree with, but I'm a very, very strong believer of this. All companies would go through changes. Today, you believe that you're solving a problem in a specific fashion that may or may not finally end up being. Okay. Just to give a sense, what we started at FunGrow, We started a company which would going to give financial independence to teenagers. Our customers kept telling us, saying that I want to earn money by working with companies. And as I kept hearing that, imagine if I would have hired a lots of people who were responsible for doing financial literacy trainings and managing the card program that we have. At those point in time, I would have been required to let go of these people or fit them or find a subordinate fit for them in the new structure. So please be careful before you start hiring people. Always hire first on freelance basis, hire first for project basis. Do not hire on a full-time basis. I know that a lot of us are bootstrapped and hence hiring does not even picture into what we want to be doing. But if you are spending money, be very careful as to what you are spending your money on when you are hiring people. Remember that your company will go through pivots, and it's not going to be one pivot, it's going to be multiple pivots that you end up before you end up with the final what your company would look like. Even large companies that you can think of today as startups, they are all going through a pivot even today, and they will keep doing that as companies evolve and the customer requirements keep evolving. So be careful before you build any fixed cost in your business. always always figure people who are going to deliver to you on outcome, not on time. Now, this is something that people don't understand. All our life, we were taught that I'm going to be valued for my time. I'm going to work, I become an engineer, do an MBA, then I get salary, I'll work for 40 hours in a week, and then I get paid something. That structure does not work with a startup. Do not hire people with the idea that you're going to give time to me. Always hire people or work with people who are going to be work on outcome. That I'm going to give you this project, deliver this project, and I'm going to give you the following remuneration. Do not hire for time. Hiring for time, in my opinion, is the biggest waste. Okay. Do not worry about all what that person is doing as a second job, third job, fourth job is all irrelevant. As long as you are getting your outcome, be focused on that outcome and pay for that outcome. Do not pay for time of people. Unfortunately, people end up whiling away time. So you need to see that you are focused, you are focused on deliverable, not on time. Also, don't look at talent which has very strong preconceived notions. You are not building something which has not been done, which has been done by multiple people earlier. If I was opening, and with all due respect, if I was opening a pawn shop, I know how there's a model that is available for building that pawn shop. And then I know what I'm supposed to do, and the background, the past knowledge, etc., is very useful. But find those talent which are not bogged down with the past experience. Past experience is good, helpful, and will help build your company. But more importantly, hire those people and get work with those people who are ready to challenge the status quo, because you are challenging the status quo. You are not building a company which has been tried and tested by 100 others. You are building a company in all probability which has not been done by anybody else at all. Okay, this is one place I'll just plug this in. FunGrow does that and connect you to those. Okay, but this is something which is another interesting one. And if I understood the kind of companies that are a part of this AIC, quite a few of you are B2B companies. If you are a B2B company, this is far easier for you to focus on. If a B2C company is a little more complex to achieve. Try to get customer funding. I know I referred to this earlier, but I wanted to spend some more time on this. Try to get customer funding. Try to get your first money from your customer, and that money can come in multiple fashions. That money can come in fashion of advances. It can come in for fashion of subscription model, in some ad income that you can possibly build in. But always evaluate this idea: can my company be funded by a customer? So if you're doing a B2B business, go to whoever is your biggest target companies, the top 3, top 5. Go to them and say, I'm going to build this business. You will have a first access to this model as we develop. Why don't you give me advances? Now, advances are not debts. Advances are not equity. Advances are customer advance that you're going for a deliverable. So evaluate if that is possible. Not all businesses have that possibility. For example, our business in FunGrow does not have that possibility, and I understand that completely. But in very significantly, and I'm not saying that it doesn't happen in B2C businesses, but in B2B businesses for sure, customer funding is a good way of doing this. And please ask your customer. A lot of people, a lot of us do not end up asking our customers, saying that please give me an advance to be able to build something which is relevant for our industry, for your solution. Okay. Now this is in my opinion a fairly key area. You would have to solve the problem that you are solving. You will have potentially required to do 10 different things. Now, those 10 different things can be acquisition, can be marketing, can be managing your finances, managing your trademarks, etc. There are 50 different things that you are required to do. Do not try to do everything on your own. Be humble, say, I cannot solve all my problems, and grow through partnerships. Now, always try to acquire one to many, whatever you're trying to acquire. Partnerships will help you acquire one to many. So do not forget this. All companies who have become big have always found partners. Now, partners, for example, let me give you an example of our business. Okay, our business, I need to get multiple companies to work with us. Okay, multiple startups will work with us. Okay, so we have gone in partnership with AICs. We have gone in partnership with fund capital management companies. We have partnered with companies which do startup registration as a process, and so on and so forth. We identified our partner everywhere. So we identified our partner on the corporate side, but we also identified our partners on the B2C side. So we are working with edtech companies, we are working with banks and colleges and schools to be able to offer our services to teenagers in their periphery. So instead of me acquiring customer, there's an existing customer that lies with somebody. That is a customer that works with us. We have partners with banks, we have partners with tech companies, etc. We actually did not build our tech in-house. We actually build our tech with partnership. And our partnership has given us that strength, saying that we have been able to run this company for successfully for as long as we have been running it. Okay. Now, this is, in my opinion, very, very important. Second, see if you can find a barter somewhere. You have some skills, you are finding some solutions, you have a customer base potentially. Can you barter that customer base in some fashion and acquire more customers? Try to grow together rather than try to growing alone as a company. In my opinion, that is very, very important, because that's how companies actually end up growing, when you work with people, not when you try and work alone. Okay, give me 1 second. Your business will anyway push you in this direction. Your business will always push you, saying that let's not do 5 things at the same time. I focused on this a little bit, but in my opinion, it is very important to be humble as a founder. Now, when I say humble, it should be saying that I can only do this much. And if you guys understand Hindi, मैं आज की डेट में इतना ही कर सकता हूँ. मुझे problem solve करनी है. I have to solve the problem. All 5 problems I have to solve. But today I am humble to say, okay, today I do not have the capability to be able to solve all those problems today. I'll park those problems today, but will pick it up as and when I'm ready. But today I'll try to solve my biggest problem that I have in mind. And very, very important, sit down regularly. A lot of times you will get biased, saying that, okay, abhi ye chal raha hai, this is working fine, let me focus more time, energy, effort, etc. Always ask a question to yourself: is this what you want to build, or is it that the market is pushing you to build that? Listen to the market. There's absolutely very, very important to listen to the market and see as to what feedback is coming, and if that requires a pivot, do a pivot, but do not end up solving 5 problems at the same time. That's the biggest mistake that founders make. And this actually is my last slide for discussion. Okay, and I kept it here for very, very important reason. Most companies go wrong when they try to solve 5 problems at the same time. Do not try to if you are doing it, evaluate for yourself today, saying that, am I trying to solve more than 1 problem at a time? Be humble, be honest, and know that nobody, irrespective of how intelligent you are not capable of solving 5 problems at the same time. You're good, great to be able to solve potentially 1 problem with a co-founder also available with you. Do not do the mistake of prioritizing and doing 5 different things. Okay, do not pick up everything that is available for free. So you will go into multiple partnerships. You will see that somebody is giving you this platform free, somebody is giving you that offer free, etc., etc. All of those are not good. Okay, be very careful that will that free item take you in the direction that you are heading towards, or where you want to head. Second, also ask this question, saying that, is that free item something that I was looking for, or because it came to me and hence I'm discussing this? Okay, always be careful, saying that always focus on things that you are looking for to solve your core problem, not something just that came along the way. Okay, now this is very tough to understand and explain to anybody. Not every customer is not a good customer. You are going to get customers who are going to be very, very painful customers, who are not going to be teaching you enough, but taking too much of your bandwidth away. At this point in time, the biggest thing that you have available for yourself is your bandwidth, your strength, your energies. So be very careful that if there's a painful customer that you are dealing with, where after doing everything that you potentially can, that's still being difficult, okay, let go. Simply say, this is not what I want to do. Okay, And in the founder's life, so I don't know if you've seen a pregnant lady ever and heard from her. Everybody who sees a pregnant lady has an opinion. आप बच्चे का ऐसा करना, आप ऐसे ऐसे फीड करना, ऐसे ये खाना खिलाना, आप ये खाना खाना, ऐसे वॉक करना, etc. So every pregnant lady whoever you meet even in a lift, somebody will be giving a gyan to her. Okay, the exact same thing happens with a startup founder. You are actually pregnant with your business. Everybody will give you ideas, inputs, thoughts, how they know that they can do your business far better, how they have understanding of your business far superior than anybody else in the world. There is no harm in listening to them. So listen for sure. Listen for sure and sit down, analyze whether that specific thing is taking you in the direction that you want to go. And I'll just end with a line in Hindi, which I love a lot. Suno sabki, karo man ki. So keep hearing whatever everybody is saying, which is perfectly fine, good. You should be like a sponge, keep hearing everything and then let go. Saying this is not something that I intend to do. This is not something that is taking me forward. So I'll let go of that. I'll stop here for questions if there are any. If there are any questions, please feel free to write it on the chat or write it or please unmute yourself and ask the question. I'll try and answer a few questions which came in earlier while you guys type the questions that come to your mind at this point in time. I'm not too sure I understand all the questions, but I'll repeat those questions here and see as to how, if I've been able to answer them. Actually, the last question that came in was the most important. Is it the right strategy to bootstrap when competition is high in your industry? Okay, now this is very, very important. Okay, first of all, if there is very high competition in your business, and I'm sorry to say this, evaluate whether you should be doing the business that you're doing. It is a very important question to ask yourself that why are you doing something where there are 50 people already doing this? If there are lots of people already trying to solve that problem or who have already solved the problem, then why are you different? Okay, it's a very difficult question to answer honestly to yourself, but please answer that question saying that why would I do something which is being done by 50 other people? Now, interesting question. Should you bootstrap in a very, very competitive space? Okay, I do not claim to know the answer, so I'll put this answer with a caveat that please take your own call. Honest answer, the answer is no. Okay, bootstrapping a company where there is high competition is a very difficult life to live. Okay, it's a very, very complex life to live. You need to have something which differentiates you, which is very important, and you should know that it differentiates you. If you are trying to solve something which has already been done by somebody, you will require resources to be able to fight with the competition. And if that competition is very, very well funded, then you will always be fighting a battle where you're coming from behind. Okay, so please be careful before you take a call of that nature. First, in my opinion, honestly ask this question. If you are in a very competitive space, then why are you different? Okay, please be blunt in answering that question. There's no harm in answering a question saying that fair, I am not, and hence I'm going to pivot. Okay, we did that. Honestly speaking, we did that at FunGrow. We were operating in a fairly competitive space where there were quite a few people, at least 8 companies offering a debit card to teenagers. And then we pivoted very clearly. We very, very clearly pivoted. At this point in time, we do not have a competition anywhere. We do not have a single competitor, but we were trying to solve a very different problem. Today, we are solving a different problem coming through financial empowerment for sure, but reaching financial empowerment in a different fashion completely. Okay, so I would strongly urge saying that in case you believe that you are in a very competitive space, rethink as to what you are doing. Okay, now how to build a good team without funding was another question that came in. So let me try and answer that first. Okay, first of all, identify resources which are available in your near ones. Okay, which near ones can be friends, etc. Take their help, and even if it works as taking their help on a part-time basis, okay, please feel free to do that. Just to give a sense, at this point in time in our company, we have a banking consultant, we have a technology consultant, we have a UX UI consultant, and we have a tech consultant. Okay, so we have got consultants in every space, and these are friends. The friends with whom we have worked at some point in time. They are living their life right now. They're either running a different startup or they're working in another company or something. But these people are available to us to be able to solve problems when we get stuck. Okay, something as simple, we have a friend who's solving for our website, is a website looking better. Okay, that's a role given to that person. Okay, and that person is very happy doing that. Now identify your near and dear ones who will help. Okay, and this is something very interestingly said by, I think, Elon Musk, when he said that instead of having a baby shower, we should have a founder shower. Okay, we should all pitch in and help each other. Okay, we should all pitch in and help each other, because all of us are trying to solve something big for the world, and we need all the help that is required. And I think I spent some time explaining this. Do not hire on a full-time basis in the short period at all. Okay, if you are a funded company, you are doing well, you are a very high revenue company, and you know what path you are heading towards clearly, then please do hire. But till that time that you are clear on that, hire. If you are definitely need people, hire only for soft skills, not for hard skills. That hard skills may become irrelevant very, very quickly as you pivot your business. There were a couple of questions which I did not understand. So whoever asked those questions, if you can explain this to me as to what that question was. The one question was how to do customer discovery. The second question was building partnership in market. Only that much was written. I don't know how to answer that question. If anybody has written that, please unmute yourself and ask the question now. Okay, Uday, I'm safely assuming it doesn't sound like too many questions. Very happy to answer questions after this call as well, if that requires. Will strongly urge you to look at FunGrow and see if FunGrow can help you solve your talent problem. Okay, just go to fungrow.com or just write me. I'll put my phone number here. If you
hello,
can
hello,
hi.
sir. Can I speak? I have a question.
Please.
Sir, I'm looking for valuation. So, can you suggest best means any vendor or authorized person for valuation of a startup, so that I can take reference of his means capability and make justify those valuation in front of investor.
So Sujit, I'll give you a partial answer. Again, I have a few people who will do valuation, but I will give you a more honest answer than that. Okay, nobody knows valuation. Okay, that's the blunt answer. Nobody knows valuation. Your investor will always ask you the question saying that why are you valued this much? No external party can value you appropriately. That's out of question. Okay, it doesn't work. Okay, valuation is a matter of timing. At this point in time, unfortunately, timing is not always great for mid-segment companies. Startups, early stage company may be comparatively okay to be able to do a decent valuation even now. But you understand valuations are being relooked at this point in time because companies who have gone IPOs in the last 1 year have actually seen a significant drop. Okay, so you see like the PB FinTech, Paytm, Zomato, everybody has been washed out. Now valuation, there is no logic. Honest answer, in a startup, do not look for logic for valuation. If an investor is asking you for a third party valuation, avoid that investor. Okay, that investor does not know anything. I'm sorry to say, so blunt, that investor does not know what he or she is talking about. Okay, a company which is early stage company, and I'm safely assuming you are not a very high revenue company at this point in time. If that is the case, most people do not know how to value these companies. Okay, these valuations are more negotiated than arrived at. Okay, so do not get hassled by people asking you for a valuation report. Those valuation reports are useless. Okay, is my blunt answer to this. Okay.
Right, sir. Thank you for nice answer. My second question is that some of the expert person, I need a team to include those person in our team. So I am sharing some share of my startup as a sweet share. So what is it is best idea, or how we can take them, because I am not able to pay high much salary to them. So I give them a sweet share of my startups.
Fair enough. I think I'm a strong believer of giving equities to people who come in early in our life, but always give equity which is not given upfront. Okay, try to structure it in such a fashion that equity is given which vests over a period of time. Okay, People change, their views change, their commitment to businesses change. So you can, for example, if you're going to tell anybody, okay, so anybody on this group, you're going to say, I'm going to give you a 2% equity. Don't give that as a 2% upfront equity. You say, I'm going to give you a 2% equity, which will vest over a period of say 6 months, 1 year, 2 year, whatever you like, so that you know that for that period, you get a commitment from that person. Okay. So please be careful in giving away equity. Equity is what you are working for, right? If you have to work on salary, you would have gotten a job somewhere and you would have gotten a salary, right? I'm sure all of us are recruitable in the market. You are doing it because you want maximum equity availability, but there is a trade-off. You require good people as well. So to get people, please do give equity. Just structure it intelligently. Okay. Do not end up giving away equity upfront. Okay. I'll give you some example as to what we have done. So we have got in FunGrow, we have got a brand ambassador. I don't know if you guys see Kapil Sharma show. The Kiku Sharda is a brand ambassador for FunGrow. And we had an honest discussion with him on saying that we are not in a capability to pay. Can we work out a different model? And he was nice enough to agree to something of that nature. We have a tech team which is outsourced, which is again works on equity plus cash. Okay. So we have been able to make those structures everywhere, but all those structures are linked to deliverables, not to just giving time to me. Okay. I hope I could answer your question, Surjit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I have discussed like I give them option like if you're working at least 3 hour, 2 hour per day for dedicated 2 hour per day for 3 year or 2 hours. So I will give this much equity like this. I make a discussion with them. Is it good?
That is one way of doing it, Surjit. I am again, this will all depend on who you are talking to, etc. So there are no right answers to it. But the view is saying that please give them something on deliverable, not on time. Okay. So for example, you can say that I'm going to give you a deliverable based equity share, what say X lakh when my company is valued at Y. Okay. That's a good way of doing it because then that person is attached to your company's success. It's not attached only to giving you time. It's attached to you becoming successful. So always try to link it with success of your company. Okay. Do not link it to your time given to you. If you want, Sujit, I
Thank
can
you.
separately, we can have a discussion. Very happy to help. Thankfully, we have done very successful models on this front. Okay. And very happy to discuss this in detail if required. I've given you my number on the chat. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Need I number. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, 2-3 new participant has joined. Do you have any questions for the how to run a bootstrapped activity in your own startup, and any task, any work, how to get it done in very few? So anyone have any question? Open to ask, please. Almost session is all going to be wide up. So please ask anything if you have any point.
Okay. I'm safely assuming there are no questions, Uday.
Yeah, one of the question like I also have seen in the registration form that I would like to ask, that is okay, one question is just in the chat. Just a minute. What are the marketing and or sales channel from email marketing or WhatsApp channels for Frugal Bootstrap companies?
Okay. I don't know if I understand this question completely. So Manoj, if you can unmute and ask the question, that would be the best. Okay. There are multiple.
Yes. Hi, Nick Jain. My question is like, see, I mean to say, we come across with GupSub WhatsApp channel, right? We as a FXM Tech Financials, currently work on a debt and equity, finance side, right? Now we work with 45 banks and NBFCs as well. Now we are using different channels like WhatsApp, email marketing platforms, cold calling, right? So my query was like, what are the tools for especially for the frugal bootstrap company, right? Especially for the like WhatsApp has a highest penetration rate, right? So especially on the lead management and the nurturing of the lead management, right? Where even we could look at some, I mean to say, some may be using CRM or workflows, right? But as a startup, if we want to limit ourselves, and what could be your advice and suggestions?
So I'll take a shot at that. On WhatsApp, and as you rightly said, WhatsApp is by far the highest interaction rate that you end up getting. I don't know if you have evaluated companies like Gupshup or evaluated companies like SendPulse. These are very good structures available. They have WhatsApp.
Yes, Gupshup. I mean to say we have. We were into communication, right? But my point was like, if we want to still see a better frugal or the economic side, right? Which could be the best options?
No, let's say this is very, very low cost, huh? This WhatsApp communication is very low cost, and everybody is at similar cost. Don't waste too much time on finding these alternates. These are very low cost models, okay?
All
The
right.
models like Gupshup and SendPulse, everything are, this is almost a global standard. I don't remember the exact numbers, but like pennies for every message, okay? That kind of low cost, okay? It is very low cost structures to work on. Second, you can try some of the plugins that we have tried in past, don't always work well. You can try things like WA messages, WS sender, etc. These are very low cost again, okay? And it's just that it will require a fair amount of manual intervention, where Gupshup and others may not require that much manual intervention. You can integrate into your system or your CRM, and they'll be able to handle this well, okay? You can check out the plugins, which again, we have used at some point in time. We were using WS sender, we were using WA messages, and lots of these are available, okay? You can check out these plugins for sure, okay? Be very careful.
Sure.
Be very
Thanks.
careful how much messages are you sending. Not, again, your
Right.
number.
No, I understand. Yes.
You understand WhatsApp gets very, very.
Yes. It's very strict also, right? So,
Yeah.
and we have been trying to use some frugal also, but yeah, it doesn't work out well as well.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take this question from HP. How to conduct market research survey for startup idea? Okay, two-part answers to this. One is try do it yourself. Okay, there's no better answer than the founder doing the survey himself or herself. If you want only like 10-20 answers, 100% of all surveys should be done by the founders only. Do not, and again, I'm safely assuming you want feedback from your customers as to whether my product is good or not good, etc. You should be the first one listening to that feedback instead of getting a feedback from a third party. But then there are multiple people available who can do surveys for you. And again, FunGrow has an option where you can put in a survey and teenagers will do those surveys for you. In case that works for your customer base, you can definitely use that. But there would be other alternates also available. Not trying to sell FunGrow here. So you can use some of these options. But if it is, okay, let me answer this. Okay, if your numbers is in hundreds, use a third party. So you can put it on FunGrow. Some teenagers will do it. You should, but still do the first 10 to 20 yourself. Okay, because that is the only way you would know how to design this survey. So first 10-20 on your own, the rest you can use a third party to be able to do that. Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, I was asking one question over the lead that for the registration form. When any startup take initial level team hiring, like hiring for the team, and the particular team output, how should what would be the plan to get a minimum input and a maximum output in the hiring and the work activities in the employees?
Okay, no, I'm not too sure I got the question, Uday. Can you repeat it? Sorry. This is
Yeah, I'm
something.
asking that when we suppose I have like bootstrapped and like I'm just explaining this thing. Some suppose bootstrap startup is there. He has multiple tasks to do, multiple work to do, but he want to get done in minimum cost with with the good talent in the industry or something. So how to be that plan for the management of that particular task and the employee? Maybe the
Yeah,
hiring process might be in that way.
please remember that I would have a bias here because I run a freelancing company. Okay. In my opinion, freelancing is the best way of doing it. This is the talent available to you on short duration basis for specific solution. This is the smartest way, in my opinion, of building a startup. Okay. But please remember that because I run a company of that nature and I have a strong bias in that favor, please evaluate other options also. But in my view, you have all kinds of people available, right? Now with working from home, everybody is available for freelancing. Lots of people are doing it. Identify the specific problem that you're trying to solve or the specific kind of talent that you require and search for that to be working with you on a freelance basis. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Now, Prasad has a question: how to outsource marketing with equity? Okay. Prasad, can you be nice enough and explain as to what do you mean by marketing here? Generally, marketing is a fairly low cost thing, and hence I'm careful in answering that question. Okay. Prasad?
Hello.
Hey.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are, Prasad.
Okay. So my startup is Theka Buildtech Corporation. So we deal in construction services. So we have built a platform portal. So via portal, we give the services to the clients, and we also have some services as pre-home inspection. So basically, in every city, in every corner, you will find many contractors. So we want to reach the market. So if we and our startup is totally bootstrapped. And if you want to if we want to what I can say कि मतलब अगर खर्चा मार्केटिंग में कम करना है तो उस बारे में हम सोच रहे थे कि क्या करें, तो फिर इसके बारे में हम ये सोच रहे थे कि क्यों ना किसी मार्केटिंग एजेंसी को ही इक्विटी के लिए हम पार्टनर करके आगे चले, तो वैसे पॉसिबल होता है क्या?
Okay, नहीं होता है, but normally marketing agencies don't charge you a lot of money. Okay, so don't
Okay.
give away your equity for nothing. Okay, that's
Okay.
not, in my opinion, a smart way of doing it. क्या होगा?
Okay.
They'll charge you 15,000-20,000 rupees. Okay, a month. Okay, don't
Hmm.
end up giving too much equity for that. Generally, equity is given when you are going to get some long-term benefits out of it, or you're getting a consulting out of it, or you're going to give a core impact to your business. Okay.
Okay.
Again, I don't necessarily understand what, because they'll not spend on your behalf. They're not going to do an advertising cost on your behalf. They're only going to give marketing strategies to you. They're going to implement some of these. They're going to handle your social media channels, etc. 15,000 रुपए ले लेंगे आपसे, या आप किसी फ्रीलांस चले जाइए, वहां पे आपको करके दे देंगे वो लोग 10,000 रुपए में, ठीक है ना? You may not be required to give away equity for something so small. Okay, I would avoid that, but again, you know your situation better than me. Okay.
Yes. और एक बात है, हेलो।
हाँ जी।
हाँ, और एक बात है कि जो कंस्ट्रक्शन फील्ड में एक हम जो करना चाहते हैं, जो अभी तक मतलब इंडिया में नहीं हो रहा है, तो उसके लिए एक सब्जेक्ट मैटर एक्सपर्ट है जो कि एक फॉरेन का बंदा है। तो उसको हम सोच रहे थे कि एक एसोसिएशन करके उसको कुछ एक एडवाइजरी क्या बोलते हैं इक्विटी दे के उसको एडवाइजर करके हमारे टीम में ले ले। तो उसके लिए कैसे होता है, मतलब 1% 2% ऐसे देके भी चलता है, या 1% 2% देने के बाद वापस उसको एक पर उसका एडवाइजरी चार्ज देना पड़ता है, वो एक अंडरस्टैंड करना था।
हाँ जी, नहीं, सो अगेन मोस्ट पीपल हु अंडरस्टैंड द वैल्यू ऑफ स्टार्टअप्स वो आपसे एक्सेप्ट कर लेंगे कि आप 2-3% तो उनको ले आइए, ठीक है ना? दे शुड बी एबल टू डू दिस, बट इट्स ऑलवेज अ नेगोशिएशन, राइट? You should be clear that you can't pay. Okay, आपका कोई consultant है, you're not going to pay them 3 lakh rupees a month, right? That's not the kind of people you have available. So you should be honest in saying that मैं कर सकता हूँ, but I can do it only on equity. Okay, do not do equity plus cash kind of component, because then there's no value to you. Okay.
Okay.
Be equity, and again 3% equity, 2% equity is a fair amount of equity for early stage company, which you will build as a company, right? So no, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Sagar has a question. We build chatbots in chat marketing, WhatsApp marketing tool. How can we reach to them? Okay. I don't know honestly if I can give the sales answer to this, but everybody is looking for it. Okay. All people in this group are looking for this answer, Sagar, for sure. Okay. And look at startups. They are all looking for a solution of this nature. Reach out to startups, do a lot of partnership with companies who are working with startups, etc. And you'll get more.
Okay. Yeah. So actually, just to mention, we are actually charging at actual, and not like I just heard you mentioned about Wati other players. So they charge something which is more than WhatsApp. So if WhatsApp is charging you 48%, they charge their customers 55, but we charge at actual 48, but we charge per month subscription. So is that something that needs to be done, or is it good to do?
Again, this is not something that you should treat as a generic answer. It's a specific answer for me as a company.
Okay.
We avoid structures where there is a subscription fees. Okay. we like the idea of pay per use. Okay.
Right.
But that's only us. Okay. So maybe there are other people who prefer a subscription model. So I'll leave it to you to figure that as to what is the best way of handling it. But
Okay.
safely assume all of us are looking for it. Okay. WhatsApp at this point in time, everybody needs. Okay. So
Right.
if you have a good solution, I'm sure you have more than enough customers available for you. Okay.
Cool. Maybe we can connect after.
Hanji, if we can connect afterwards, and I can guide you to a few people who would be interested in these kind of partnerships.
Definitely. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. If anyone had question, please tell. If please ask whether we could have. Yeah, I think that is it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the time and valuable knowledge and experience sharing with our participants and startups. There are multiple questions which might be use also confusing toward the startup how to get out of that particular thing. So that is very experientially answered and very useful for the startups. So thank you so much, Anik sir, for the helpful feedback and the knowledge share. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, everybody. Thank you for taking out the time. Thanks, Uday, for organizing this.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Can you share the user details? Prasad is asking. Already shared, Prasad. I'm just copy pasting it. If you have lately joined, I just mentioned the Anik sir contact and mail ID. You can contact if you have anything. You have to do anything to be discussed. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Yeah.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
guys. Thank you, everybody. Take care.